My name is Abdurrahman Akombi. I am the CEO and founder of Sycom Academy. Giving free education, giving free IT education, skilling people from 0 to 100 and be able to bridge the gap across Africa to the West. Right now, the research said there is a zero employment rate for experienced cybersecurity professionals. The top cybersecurity threats, these are things that you see every day. You open your email and you see someone send you invoice, open, click that link, right?
I just got one today.
You got one today, right? They're using AI to write scripts that will bypass your firewall.
How do you use your company to kind of overcome some of these barriers? Like, okay, there's a way to protect, but there's also a way to act.
Well, we've got all those orchestrated response from the likes of Splunk, Phantom, and Sentinel. Remember, there is no system that is 100% proof, right?
Yeah.
But just don't be the weakest. AI is no longer just a buzzword, right? It's not here to stay. It is transforming cybersecurity. Sycom Academy, what we do, we are, and we said, we are a community. We train you, we mentor you, we give you work experience, right? And you become part of the community. I've not seen one person that has left. Sycom Lab is our golden unicorn.
All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you once again for clicking this video. We're back again with our tech series where we bring seasoned IT professionals, like I said, to come and educate us, to enlighten us, because we need all this information and we need to help you guys as well. So thank you. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please do well to like the video, share the video, and subscribe to this channel. So today we have a very big personality. We have the CEO of Sycom Solution. Is it Sycom Solution Technologies? Let me put it right. Abdurrahman Akambi, welcome to the channel.
Thank you very much, Raymond, for bringing me on here. What is a privilege to actually be on your show. Thank you. My name is Abdurrahman Akombi, and I would like to introduce myself. So I am a certified information security professional, that's CISSP, and as well I am a certified information security manager, and as well I've got the certified in cybersecurity. I've got I don't want to bore you with my qualifications. Well, I am a graduate of University of Oxford. I did studied MSc Software and System Security, which was one of the key drivers, for me to go into cybersecurity.
Okay.
So that's just a little bit about myself. I wouldn't want to blow my trumpet, but I think I would like to say the name is Sycom Integrated Solutions, and we are Sycom Solutions as well. And thank you for bringing me on here.
Right. Welcome to the channel. So, first of all, let's understand. Like, I want my viewers to understand what Sycom is all about. So, what is Sycom all about, and what do you do with the company?
Okay. I think Sycom, it's I call it is a movement, right? It's not just a company; it's a movement, and the whole idea came from when I thought about how do we educate people in tech, educate less privileged and all that in tech without paying the high price. And this was in 2011, and I was like, oh, okay, should we start with the likes of the free-based licensed softwares and start teaching them about Ubuntu, or for example, the Linux-based and networking and all that. However, that dream could not be achieved then because I was based here, and the people here already had that expansion, and where I was going to do that was based in Africa. Then I said, okay, how do I do that? I need to create a platform. I need to create a name, right, to be able to now do that later. And then I said, okay, we'll go into training. But before we go into training, right, we have to be able to raise money. So, okay, we need to look for products. And then that was where we started IT support.
Wow.
And yeah, and that was way back. We started IT support. I had someone that we did work together, a lady, Sarah. She was really very, very supportive. She was, in fact, she was more like a boss to me then, and because she mentored me through the program. And we did the IT support for a couple of years. Then personally, I went into, because the truth about this country is you can't run a business without, you must have income coming in. So I was working, right? I was doing 9 to 5 and I was running the IT support company. So if that comes up, we'll go and get the job done and all that. We did some work with prison services where we're able to do their support, run their network cables,
Wow.
and fix their computers, their labs, their studios, and all that. We're able to do that, and we did some cyber cafes as little as that. And as at then, we're making some little money, I would say. Then we went into website development and that, and we built up, and we're doing all those things just to have that grab, because we couldn't catch the big clients, straight up, and we didn't understand how to go down the route of funding to support our project, but we wanted to create a platform somehow. We had to just keep working. Then down to 2017, before the COVID hit, I just thought, okay, you know what, this cybersecurity thing is coming up. We've been into we've been into IT support
and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, and during that time, right, I got myself into uni. I did my that was during that time I did my masters, and my masters was in MSc Software and System Security. This is from the University of Oxford, and and after doing that, I was like, wow, I know this cybersecurity thing, right? I've been into IT support for almost 20 years, so why don't you just set up a cybersecurity company? Meanwhile, I joined a company called Equifax. I was doing a lot of cybersecurity projects. Around that time was when Equifax got hacked, right? So they got hacked. It was a massive one, and I got recruited as part of the team to come and remediate, a lot of their functions. So I had a lot. I got my hands dirty around a lot of the things there, like for example the identity and access management, encryption, network hardening, and I was like, okay, you know what, even though I haven't gotten so much experience, I can tailor this company into a cybersecurity company, right, and start. And that was then the cybersecurity companies were springing up, so the light came up and said, okay, yeah, let's do this, and that was how the real Sycom was born. Yes, Sycom was born in 2011, but it reignited in 2017, just before COVID. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I can remember that time. Cybersecurity was a very big thing, just like AI is trending now. I finished from an engineering background, like I always said. I came in for my master's here, and I just picked up cybersecurity. So it was more of me believing on myself and the hype. Like, okay, this thing is a big thing now. Let me just go for it, and I believe I will succeed. Okay, so that's a good one, and I think it's quite encouraging because I normally tell a lot of people, just start. Just imagine you started from IT support, and then along the line you transition into cybersecurity, which you completely love. So, what kind of drive you? What give you the drive? What makes you to be so passionate about this field of cybersecurity?
Very good question, and thank you for that. Will you permit me to kind of introduce myself, or should we go? Let me introduce myself, just give you a little bit of my background, right?
Okay.
If that's okay. Okay. So, I migrated to the UK in 2005, and before then, I've been into IT. I was part of the team that set up what we call the NIT.
NIIT
If
in
you know,
Nigeria.
yeah, but the one in Kaduna.
Okay. Okay.
So, so I was part of that team. We set up the NIT in Kaduna, and the director then now looked and said, "Hey, Abdul, you did this. Well, you don't have a degree, but I know you're into this, right?
Hmm.
And you were able to set up this with your team. The Indians came, they tried to set it up. They did a lot of the hard work and all that, setting up the cables and all that. And I think something happened along the way. The project did not. It didn't go. It didn't go the way it should go. Not. I don't know what happened, but they then called and said, "Okay, you guys, you worked with the Indians, right? You saw what they did. Can you come and complete the job?" I was like, "Oh, fine. I can get my team to come and do it." And then we completed that job, and I got offered a job, right? I got offered a job of a network and database administrator, but it started with a network administrator, which means I was going to look after the network
Hmm.
within NIT. So I installed all the servers, got the systems and all that ready. And I did then studied Oracle, and after that, I became the database administrator in NIT. Then I was there for about 2 3 years before I just thought, you know what, I'm always hungry. I'm always hungry, right? So you might think I've just got little knowledge, but I'm just hungry to know what's next. And I thought to myself, you know what, I need to move. And that was how I got here. I came to study. I thought maybe that's another story. I thought maybe if I come to study, once I get here, I'll just get a job, right,
Hmm.
and continue. So I got here, and in 2005, then I did studied BSc Business Information System and Information Technology at Middlesex University before I now went into complete my master's at University of Oxford. So now that just gives you a bit of background about my initial. The only thing I knew was IT,
Yeah.
right? So it's like if I was doing anything else, that would have just been like me starting from anywhere else. So that was the only thing I knew, and I had that passion. I've been praised, and I did it very well. While I was doing it. So I thought the only thing I could do is, even if I'm going to, I always told myself I'm going to retire back into IT. So
Yeah.
I started with IT. I'm going to retire into IT. So, and the only thing I could do is to run a company,
Hmm.
right, and do what I do best. But I'm still on the journey. I'm still on the journey of really
Definitely.
giving back to support, to actually achieve the dream that's I'm looking to achieve, which is giving free education, giving free IT education, skilling people from 0 to 100, and be able to bridge the gap across Africa to the West, right? And for people to be able to make that dollars and pounds and euros while they're sitting in the likes of Kanuri or Kakuri, or
Thank you.
sitting in the likes of Lagos Surulere, or down in Benway or somewhere, making that money. Until we get there, right, I'm not resting.
Thank you. I so much love this last point. I tell people upskilling and reskilling is just the thing. And yeah, I don't want to I have a story. I don't want to go into it, but upskilling and reskilling is the thing. Whatsoever you are doing, most especially we immigrants, Africans like this, we need to give back. So if you are watching this video, please, anything you have the opportunity to be in the UK where you can acquire a whole lot of knowledge, always think of giving back. Abdul Rahman, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Okay. Last year there was an article that was flying online. 4.5 million cybersecurity professionals were needed worldwide. And this was according to ISC2. And yeah, you already know that body. Major cybersecurity CEOs, just like you, they come up and say this number is still not enough. Like, I believe it's more. Why do you think this number is it's not enough in the whole world?
Yes, I agree with that, because if you look at the top targeted companies, actually the mid-size, like the mid. We have the small, middle size, and the big businesses, right? So the mid-sized businesses are the mostly targeted ones. The
Mm,
small ones, yes, the small. In fact, I'll say the small and mid-size. And I'll tell you why. The big businesses, they've got enough money to get the right skill set, in, and protect themselves. While the small and mid-size, a lot of them have this doubt that, oh, is the data really important? Do we have enough data to
yeah.
say we want to get somebody full-fledged to come in and do it? And a lot of them are not enlightened to say we can outsource this, right, to a SOC or to an MSSP to look after for us. And just by the way, MSSP is Managed Security Service Provider. They just look after your security for your organization at a cheaper cost compared to you getting all the tools within all the stacks within your organization. Now, it's just a realization. And now, I said, a lot of organizations, they want it, but it's like, can we employ someone permanently to do this and pay that person that big money, right? The big companies are doing it. A lot of mid-sized companies are doing it. However, we've still got a big gap of people whereby that realization is going to hit. And when it hits, they will come rushing for these resources. So better be, like you said, skill and reskill, right? Just keep skilling yourself, right? Skill yourself. Be prepared for the opportunities. They are coming.
Mm,
Those opportunities are coming. If right now, the research said there is a zero employment rate for experienced cybersecurity professionals. Zero employment rate. That means if you are experienced and you're a cybersecurity professional, you shouldn't still be looking for a job. If you look for a
yeah.
job, you will get. So that doesn't mean people with entry level, we have those challenges as well. And we have some solutions for them, which we're going to discuss later, right?
Mm,
The entry level jobs, right? It doesn't mean there's how we do lay that experience in for you, that you become an experienced, cybersecurity professional to join that level of zero, to join that level of employed. Let me
mm.
put it that way.
Okay. What are the kind of the emerging cybersecurity threats that we currently have, and what sets it apart from the MSSP? I want you to kind of put more light on the MSSP. That is people that are kind of working with other companies just to keep their IT infrastructure safe. So, okay, the question is, what are the emerging cybersecurity threats, and what sets it apart from other MSSPs in relation to your company?
Okay, very good question. Now, on the top of the list of my head, the top cybersecurity threat. If I say emerging, I'll start with the top cybersecurity threats, then I'll go into the emerging, right?
Yeah.
The top cybersecurity threats, these are things that you see every day. You open your email and you see someone send you invoice, open, click that link, right?
I just got one today.
You got one today, right?
I got
Now,
one today.
the same way you got one of the directors, right, in the big companies or somewhere has got one. If you click on that link, two or three things, a lot of things can happen. But one of the things that could happen is you click on that link and a program runs in the background, and what you've got malware, infected system, and you've been monitored. Secondly, you click on it. If the program, it could be a script that when you click on it, it tries to take you to another environment, which means it takes you to another link, another
Actual link.
page.
Yes, yes.
So where if you I tell you to type in some information, either your NI, social security number, or your card number, for whatever reason, if it's telling you that, for example, it's telling you that, oh, your invoice is due for your Amazon subscription, for example, are you like, oh, haven't I paid it? Okay, you click on it, it takes you, so okay, now enter your payment details and make that payment. $5, right? The payment details, or £5. You pay that £5. They're not only taking that £5 out, all they just need is they're harvesting your data. So they take that, and so that is the top. Even for organization, we call it phishing emails. Now we have tools that you use to stop all those things, and the number one tool is security awareness and training, right? As easy as it might look, just for everyone knowing that every single email you see, right, you have to ensure you treat it with care. You have to ensure make sure it's coming from the person, the trusted party. You check, understand, look at the email, make sure it's coming from that trusted party. Now, emerging threats, right? I don't want to go down that road because we have a lot. We have DDoS, distribution and denial of service. We have state-sponsored threat. We have a lot that on the list, right? We have what we call OWASP top 10. If you're listening, you can just Google OWASP top 10. So that there you're able to monitor the top threats, right?
Yeah.
But imagine threats, which is the interesting part. These are AI threats that are crafted using AI. And some of those threats, we can say, for example, even the phishing, right? Normally, when you see before now, if you see phishing emails, you see some mistakes. The person their English is not the English. You just see the way they will write things. Everything
Yeah,
is
it's
just
helping
like
them now.
now AI. They take it to AI, and the email comes perfect, well structured, right? That you will hardly know, even if you are experienced, you hardly know it's coming from someone that doesn't even speak English, right? So that is one. Another one now, looking at more technical threat. These are threats where they are using AI to write scripts that will bypass your firewall. So you write a script, they know your firewall understands this, but they will write a script that will bypass it. So which means that no matter how strong your firewall is, it will get to a stage whereby it's now how quick does your AI realize, or how quick do you tweak your AI to realize and block all different type of attacks, compared to how quick is this person thinking to actually tell the AI to command the AI to bypass what you've put to defend. I don't know if you understand, because you tell AI what to do, right? You go in there, you write the way it works behind your firewalls. You create what we call rules. So rules is saying that you're telling those rules that, if you see anything that contains an attachment, check that attachment. Make sure the attachment does not look like this and that. If it's this, don't let it go. But if it's not this, okay, allow it to go. That's a rule. That's simple in a layman's language, right? But somebody can write a script that will tell you that, okay, make it look like this. right? But once you cross, rearrange it back and deploy without getting technical for our audience. Right? These are some of the emerging threats that we're looking at. We're looking at, for example, the other day, I read an article and they said there's a possibility of using your toothbrushes to attack a network, right? Remember, we have smart toothbrushes.
Hmm.
I don't know if you've used one of those. I've gotten one of those in the past, or you've got. I don't want to mention the name because if I mention it's around me here, it's going to answer. The Anyway, I'll just say it, Alexa, right?
Hmm.
So uh, whenever I say it, it just picks up. So you've got all those smart devices. Now you've got toothbrush, smart devices. Someone can sit and connect all those toothbrushes
Hmm.
around a certain area and channel all the connection, all those network, and channel it towards a particular network and crash your system, so make you unavailable. So DDoS is this distributed denial of service, which means they make your system unavailable. Your system could be your website, right? So they'll just send a lot of ping requests up to your website and it just crashes it. So around that time, it might be during Christmas time where you're expecting a lot of sales, right? You think we're going to make money. And during that window, all you're trying to do is to get your systems back. You're trying to be resilient. You're trying to fail back into a good working time.
Hmm.
So those are some of the threats we're seeing now. People are the more we're having all these emerging technologies coming in. We have the Alexas, we have our smart TV, our smart fridge, smart everything. The convenience, that convenience comes at a cost.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So how do you do that? How do you protect yourself? It's simple. A lot of us have Wi-Fi network. Go into your admin Wi-Fi, create a separate network for your. When you have the 2G, 5G, you can just create a small subnet for all your smart devices.
Hmm.
Put all your smart devices in one. So there is that barrier. There's that logical barrier whereby even if somebody is able to hack them, they're not able to cross
The
into
other
the likes of
networks,
your
yeah.
laptops, right? And that, right?
Do
So
you
yeah,
do you also kind of integrate this when you're working for companies? Like, how do you kind of stay ahead with some of these threats? Most especially, let's look at the example that you use, the firewall. Someone is using an AI to tell the firewall, don't do this, rather do this. So how do you use your company to kind of overcome some of these barriers? Like, okay, there's a way to protect, but there's also a way to hack. You
to hack.
understand?
Yeah,
Yeah.
good. So this is what we do. We've got what we call SOAR. It's called a security orchestration automated response, right? Instead of somebody sitting on the system 247, yes, we still get people. We have a 24/7 SOC, Security Operations Center,
Okay.
right, where people sit and they look at the screen. They look at different screens. But we've got all those orchestrated response from the likes of Splunk, Phantom, and Sentinel, right? So what they do is that they help us monitor our networks. So they monitor not just our network, they monitor the networks of our clients. They monitor them for abnormalities. So if something is new, obviously, if you go into a city and you're a new person, right, you're either looking left, you don't know where to go, and all that. So same way, if a traffic comes in, right, it doesn't really. The header is not telling you to go to a particular person. The header is telling you that look for something that is weak and just get in there quickly and hide, right? So, and those things they come into your network, you're able to those anomalies are spotted. So what we do is that our consultants, we go and investigate those packets. They look at the logs, they look at the IP. Now we now come in and do some we come in and do some additional manual checks. So what the AI does, right, is that it helps us to hold it down. At times we give it a response to say, if you see that kind of thing, hold it down, delete it,
Hmm.
or or hold it down, generate some certain report for us, extract the AI, extract the location, extract all the header information for us, so that it's easy for our consultant to just read through and say, okay, so this is coming from this IP. Where is this IP? Pop, pop, pop. We do the IP. This IP is from South Korea or North Korea. Is it from Russia? Is it from? Oh, it's from the UK. It's from our office, London office. Okay, so this is looking good now. It might be a false positive. So which means a false positive means our machines have just picked something that is correct, that is going to the right place.
Hmm.
But it might be coming from somewhere outside our network, right? Whereby you'd be like, oh, this is actually, we're not expecting anything from this IP addresses. And then if we go further to check, we take that packet, we take it into a sandbox, and deploy it, see what's going to happen. We'll learn from it and say, okay, this is a threat. And what we do after that is, at the end of, depending on how serious it is, we let the client know that, yes, we've stopped, 10 attacks this month. This is going to be fatal. This is what could have happened to you and all that. And we do what we call, based on that, we generate reports for the likes of, what do you use? What do you train? You need to train your um, employees on this. These are the kind of things that are coming up, right? And
Hmm.
all that. So that's just one example. We have a lot, even for the DDoS, there are different other tools you use to stop DDoS attack. We have Cloudflare and all that. Remember, there is no system that is 100% proof, right?
Yeah.
There's no system, but just don't be the weakest.
Yeah.
Because,
Okay.
yeah, go ahead. Talk.
Yeah, I think that's a good point because at the same time, I think everything still boils down on employee training and information, like you said from the start of this video, because the moment employee don't really know what to do. I think there was a fact that I saw somewhere that most of the, I think 9 or 8 of the breaches that we have in the world today stems from basically employees' mistakes. And yeah, something that they did not do right. Maybe they clicked the link they were not supposed to click and boom, everything just happened. Do you agree with
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, I do. In fact, that is key. You can have the best systems, you can have the best network, have the best firewalls, you spend millions on your tools, right? But if your employee mistakenly plug in the wrong a USB they picked up at the park, wherever it is, on the floor, plug into your system, right? That could be the end, because what? They've bypassed the whole firewall, everything you put in there, and they've put in that USB. Or a phishing email comes in and they click on it. That's it. Imagine just someone saying there. And what we do in Sycom Solutions, what we do is that we actually do, as part of our MSSP, we do run what we call this simulation test. You allow us to, organizations do tell us that, okay, what we want you to do is to do the employee security awareness training. After that security awareness training, we now do what we call the simulation. So simulation means that every month we send 2 emails out to every employee. It is automated. So the email could be, the AI, we kind of simulate the email to kind of understand what the employees do. And they send them emails that will almost catch them. But there will be some mistakes
Hmm.
for them to be able to know, right? If they click on it, it means they failed, right? That is a weak that was a weak end. So what we do is that automatically we will send them the required videos that they need to watch to educate themselves not to make that kind of mistake
You
again.
say again, okay.
Yeah, and just so that you know, to add to the AI bit, right? Especially emerging tech, like we talked about in cybersecurity, right? One of the um, something people should know is that AI is no longer just a buzzword, right? Is now here to say is now here to stay. It is transforming cybersecurity, right? And what AI can do, yeah, it can analyze vast amount of data in real time. So compared to we doing it manually, looking, it's going to do this analyzing. It will identify patterns, different patterns, and indicate immediately. It will indicate that, oh, there's a security threat here. Something that is going to take you a day to do, AI is going to do it in give me 1 minute, 30 seconds. It's going to give you all that information. So an example is that the AI can scan a network traffic for anomalies, like I said,
Mm.
and detect unusual behavior patterns on endpoints. And this will just help you right from time. It will help even before it occurs, before the problem occurs. It will tell you that there is an unusual pattern here. Go for it. Same as machine learning, right?
Mm.
We know that AI and machine learning, they work together. Machine learning, which is it is a truly powerful um, machine. It learns and allows these systems to learn from new threats. So what happens is, if there's a new threat, it will learn from it. I told you about taking it to sandbox, right? You
Yeah.
take that thread to the sandbox and deploy it. So manually, normally we will take it to sandbox, deploy it, learn from it, look at logs, and say, oh, so this is supposed to do this. This was actually written to exploit this particular file. Oh, this is done to escalate privilege. What AI will do is, what machine learning will do is, it will take it, it will explore, it will deploy that package, right? It will learn from that package, it will run different variations, right, of that and learn from it. And based on what it has learned, it will take it as part of its knowledge. Now, if a new one is coming, right, it knows, oh, I already know you. I already know who you are, right? You can't come in here because we've learned already. We've already learned about you. So those are some of the use cases, and those are some of the things that you know we do, around our within Sycom Solutions. Those are some of the packages. We kind of have different packages. If you go to our website, which is sycomsolutions.com, you're going to see a lot of things that we do, right?
All right. Yeah. My next question was targeted about AI, and you just kind of threw more light on that. What are the key factors, key things that organization can look out for, like in respect to AI being used to attack a company? What can they watch out? What can they look out for?
Normally it is pattern, right? The most that is the thing. Okay, imagine your organization every day your network people come in the morning between 8 and 9, or let's say between 8 and 9:30. More realistic, people start logging in, the traffic starts going up. It's going to be like when you're looking at your network traffic on the chart, it's going to be between 8 o'clock, it starts going up. 9, everybody is in the office, people, it's gone up. That's the peak. So it
Hmm.
starts coming down after 9, right? Towards 9:30, some people are
On break.
they are logging in. Yeah, then it will stabilize every day. That is the way it is. On Saturdays and Sundays, the network is down because you're not working, right? Then imagine 12 midnight, you just see the network just started going up. Brrr. Oh, the first question you're going to ask yourself is,
Who is in the office?
do we have ghosts? Do we have who is logging in right now? So once that happens, once we call it spike, once that spike happens, now there is what we call those same tools. We call them security incident and event management tools. So be it we run a couple of them for different of our clients. We run the likes of Curator, we run the likes of Splunk, Phantom, we run Sentinel for different clients. So they will show you that, and it will capture the log for you to say this traffic is coming from here. This is the user. This is where they are logging in from, right? And this is what they're trying to get to. And immediately, this happens in real time. So immediately, you should be able to stop that. That's one of the key things you need to look out for. Now, a lot of organizations probably don't have a 24/7 SOC. If it's happening 12 midnight, they get hacked. They only get to know in the morning when they come, or they might even never know, right? An example of this is Equifax. This is public information, right? Equifax got hacked around June 2000 and no, I think they didn't find out about the hack. I don't want to use dates right now, right? They didn't find out about the hack until about 4 months after it happened. So they didn't even find out that data had been stolen until about 4 months after. And this is because, well, if this were monitored real time, seeing different IP addresses coming in, getting to see that a lot of data is being pulled out, right? Bulk data is being pulled out, exported, right? And you'll be looking at it. Why this bulk data? What do we need to stop it? Is that part of our rule to actually investigate any data that more than how many megabyte or gigabyte, right? There was so much data that was that was compromised. So they didn't find out, but this is something they could have found out on the day. In fact, the day the system was hacked, they would have probably found out and pulled the plug on everything. So the likes of us could actually do that for them 247. But that was what we went in to do. So when we got there now, we had different systems like the SAMs and all that running 247. The security budget was approved. I'll put it that way.
Right. So, because I understand you've worked with a lot of clients throughout your career, let's look at a powerful client story. Let's say you want to encourage someone right now. How was it like, and how were you able to tackle that as a company? And if you can share some positive feedback from the client as well.
Okay, yeah, sure. And I think I will go to one of, I'm not going to call names, right? So
Yeah.
I'm just going to use a use case, and one of these use cases, I'll just talk. I think maybe I'll just go into the type of threats we do, and one of them is for us we did implemented what we call ZTNA. It's called Zero Trust Network Architecture, right? So currently, a lot of clients do use VPNs for their remote clients, so for their remote users. So I believe if you work within tech, or even if you don't work within tech, if you work from home, right, you get to find out that you use what we call VPN. And one of our clients, we did implemented what we call ZTNA, which is in replacement, and a lot of companies are going to move towards that, right? Is a replacement for VPN. Now, with VPN, if an attacker is able to infiltrate and cross that VPN, and one of it will be, even if the person has his what do you call their computer open, right? And somebody is able to just log in and use username and password, right? What happens is that once they cross that VPN, then every other thing behind that wall is at risk, because the trust is at the gateway level, right? That VPN level. So what we're able to do for them, and which was the issue they had, right? What we're able to do for them was to implement the ZTNA, and that has more granular. So if you hear anything like zero trust architecture, in fact, let me quickly introduce what zero trust architecture means, or what is zero trust. So the concept of zero trust is pretty straightforward. It just says trust no one, verify everything. That is what it means. So if I've been here before, if I'm coming back, you don't have to trust me again. You have to verify you again, right? So it's just like saying once you were inside a company network, you were trusted. That's before, but with the modern attacks coming out now, right, within an outside organization,
Don't trust
zero
anymore.
trust assumes, yeah, zero trust assumes that every device, user, or connection could be compromised. So zero trust doesn't grant access to systems or data without constant validation. So whether that is verifying user identity through multi-factor authentication or only granting access to specific areas of the network based on least privilege principles. So this is something, you know, um, a lot of tech companies now, government, they are shifting towards that zero trust framework. This is just to stay ahead of, threat.
Hmm.
So this is one bit, and I could tell you the company that came to us, they were actually compromised via VPN.
Okay.
So they came and we implemented what we call the ZTNA for them. If you go on one of the services, if you go on our Sycom Solutions page, you'll see we do implement ZTNA. You can read a lot more about it. Actually, it says we even have a white paper there for ZTNA. You can read through. You can read through that as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Let's jump on. I discover you also provide a training session to people that are kind of interested, which is like what we talk about, skilling and upskilling people. How is the training, and what are you doing with the training? What kind of technologies are you uh, exposing people to? How do they start? How do you just go about with the whole training process?
Thank you for that question. And I think if you notice when I started this, when I started talking, the first thing I talked about was I'm on a journey. We're on a journey, right?
Yeah.
And training is one of the key things. And what I mean, impacting knowledge is something that from day one I've known how powerful it is, right? And well, as part of what we're doing, we set up what we call Sycom Academy. So within Sycom Academy, what we're trying to do at the moment is not funded, right? Nobody is sponsoring it, so we get people to pay for quality now information until we get to where we're going to,
Mm.
right? And as part of where we're going to is to be able to is more like we're doing a proof of concept now to say what we're doing works. People get job, right? So Sycom Academy does what we call is not your traditional training organization. It's not like where you come to, you do your training 2, 3, 5 days, 1 month, and then you're off, on your way. And then you go and start looking for jobs. And what we do, and we said we are a community, right? We train you, we mentor you, we give you work experience, right? And you become part of the community. And I've not seen one person that has left that community. Even for those that have gotten jobs, they're
Mm.
still within that community. They are active. Now, what we try to do within that community is within it, once you become part of it, you now get all those freebies, free things now start coming in. Upskilling, reskilling, and all that. They now start coming in to it. Now, what do? We train people in cybersecurity fundamentals. So we look at if you have zero knowledge in cybersecurity, for example, I'm looking forward to go into, I want to go into tech, and I ask you questions and say, oh, have you thought about data science? Have you thought about other business analysis, cybersecurity, and all that? They say, oh, yeah, I know you're into cybersecurity. Come on, tell me about cyber. I'm like, okay, fine, right? Well, this is what cybersecurity is about. Are you that kind of person? Are you that kind of person that want to, prevent secure organizations from, losing money or having bad reputation due to cyber threats and all that? Are you one of those people? If you are, then you belong to where we are. They tell us yes, and they say, "Oh, I have zero knowledge of cyber." I'll be like, "Don't worry. What we do, right? We run it as a community. We've got students that we run it as a community first, right? And we get you in. We teach you what we call the fundamentals of systems and networking. So that's the first thing.
Hmm.
If you don't have that, you can't do cyber. And because we can't teach all that, that fundamental is so much, right? If you really want to learn cyber, it's going to take you about 2 years, right, to sit down and go and learn it. You learn the whole of networking. You do Cisco, you do Palo Alto, you do these different type of networks, right? But what we do is that we simplify it just enough for you to be able to assimilate the very important concept of cyber. So we bring you, we teach you all that. Then with the next stage, we teach you fundamentals of cybersecurity. So at that bit, we identify if you are able to continue or you need more grinding, right,
Hmm.
around that fundamentals. So we find that a lot of people are able to continue, then we move them. But if you need more help, so we kind of let you know that it's going to take you a bit longer, right, than 3 months. It's not, we tell you, yeah, 3 months, you're going to finish the normal traditional training, structured training. After 3 months, it becomes unstructured. Evening, we have different sessions running, different sessions. You can jump into this session, jump into the work experience session, and all that. So after that, they go after the fundamental of cybersecurity. Then the next bit is they go into the cybersecurity core. Now, this is where they start running labs, doing labs, work experience. They'll be, they'll be doing what? Running tools like Nexus, Wireshark, configuring that. They do a bit of GRC. They do a bit of security operations. They do forensic. They do just within that 3 months. We kind of give them introduction into all that. But the introduction is a bit in depth. It gives them a taster
Hmm.
of what they would see and get their hands dirty. So at the end of that 3 months, they now tell us, oh yes, Abdul, I'm interested in cyber forensic, or I want to go into pen testing. I think that actually, or I want to become a SOC analyst. And we'd be like, oh, why? What did you say? Why not GRC? Have you thought about GRC as well? They'd be like, oh yeah, GRC, oh, yeah, I like that, but I think pen testing looks interesting. Okay, fine. We have a mentor in pen testing. So what we normally do is I would do a three-way call with that person and discuss about pen testing. These are the kind of things you're going to see when you become a pen tester. We'll have done that at the beginning, but this time is more in depth. If they say this is what they want to do, then we now have what we call specialization session for all the pen testers, for all the SOC analysts, for all the cyber forensic investigators. We have for GRC. So that specialization session is usually unstructured. We kind of agree because maybe we can have like 10 people in the class or 7 people. They'll be like, okay, yeah, let's do it on maybe Wednesday evening, or let's do it on Saturdays, traditional
Hmm.
Saturday. And what we do with them during that time is not just introduce them and take them down the path of what pen testing or SOC analyst does, right? We now start showing them real live application from installing the tool, right? From installing the same tool, either the cloud-based ones like Sentinel, Phantom, Sentinel, Splunk, right? To installing the host-based ones like Wazoo, right? Whereby they can actually see how this is installed, understand the concept. What are we trying to do here? Then build them up that way, and then they get to understand how to use it. They understand what it is, the whole life cycle of threat management, and how it matches to NIST, right? They understand it in and out. So that's work experience. We're giving them a live work experience whereby they see exactly what happens, what they will see in the workplace. That abnormally that we say, that spike that we're seeing, right? Somebody logging in from North Korea, and you see this IP address. Oh, okay. What do you do? What will you look out for? What will you look at the packet header for? What will you do? You know, do you need to escalate this or do you need to deal with it? All those things we teach them. So when they come out of the academy, They come out as people that have seen and done it. It's not they're not faking it, right?
Uh,
They've done it. If the person says, "Show me," they will be able to show you, and that is what we're talking about. And after that, we now send them out for what we do the CV reviews with them. We get you to write your CV. Actually,
mm,
you do an initial draft of your CV, then you submit it to us. We look at it, we make corrections. We give you the buzzword, tell you where you need to put those buzzwords and all that. We reshape. So we work on your CV together. Because one of the biggest mistakes you can make is not knowing your CV, right? If we write your CV for you, you might just take it and just paste it, right? So we make sure you know your CV in and out. Because if a recruiter calls and say, "Oh, I can see you said you did some network packet analysis, and another, can you tell me about
the
it?"
defenders, yeah.
And yeah, and then you'd be like, you don't even know which company you put you put it under, right? So that we do that. Then we do pre interview, we do interview preparation with them, and we do job support even after they get their work. Our success stories, our success is for people to actually, when people get jobs, that's where we say we've succeeded and keep the job, not even just getting the job, for them
Yeah.
to be able to keep that job. That's when we've succeeded, not just training.
Okay. I think that looks like a complete package for anyone that will want to, because a lot of people just do the training, get the money from you, and boom, that is it. So being able to see you walk through the process, guiding people, helping them to get the job, and even the CV reviews, I think that's a lot. So anyone that is interested on this Sycom Academy, I'm personally going to display the information on the screen. You can reach out to the company and get more information on that. Right.
Yeah.
Thank you. So how long does
Can,
this
can
last?
I
Okay.
can I add one more thing, just so that you know, we are ISC partner. So we are
Wow.
one of the few partners of ISC Squared in the
Mm,
UK. We are CompTIA partners and we are Microsoft partners. So all our materials, what we use to train you, these are
based on the
official.
bodies.
Exactly. Even when you want to go and book for your exams, your certification, you
Mm,
will select our organization from the list. So if you go to the likes of CompTIA or you
mm,
go to the likes of ISC Squared, you have to select Sycom Solutions from the
wow.
list, right? To say you trained with us. So our trainers are authorized trainers, right? So we have about 5 trainers. So we have authorized trainers and all that. But what we've done exactly is to bring all these bodies together, and within Sycom, we put it in CompTIA, ISC Squared. Then we're bringing in our own experience, combined experience. That's like 40 years experience among all of us, right? We'll bring it in to that class. And any question you ask, anytime, 247, you ask a question 12 midnight, there's going to be a mentor, someone awake that's going to answer your question for you.
Wow. That's a lot. You should be getting funding from the UK government. Are you not applying?
You see, the thing is, when you get funded, they dictate what you do. They kind of dictate a bit. There's quite a lot of things you cannot do. So what we want to do is to have a working system, right? Something that works. And hopefully we'll decide if we have to go into investments instead compared
Mm,
to funded. So
okay.
we're very, very careful as to asking for funding for this. At the moment, students do pay for it, right? And our success story has been good. And even for those that haven't gotten a job yet, they are still learning. So it's not like if you don't get a job, you're just there. You've learned
Mm,
cybersecurity now. And I hear people say that, do you know, I learned cybersecurity. Sweetheart, you remember I learned cybersecurity last year from that company. And we did it, and I didn't get a job, so I forgot about it. And I'd be like, no, you with us, you are part of the team. You're part of, we continuously, you will keep We keep reminding
Learning.
you. You keep learning.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. What is the long-term vision for Sycom, and what areas do you see like the most growth potential in the company when you're looking at emerging technologies like AI, blockchain, consultancy, MSSP, like some of the things that you do? What's the long-term plan? Though you said you're on a journey, and
Yeah.
yeah, where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years?
All right. Yeah. I'll start with Sycom Solutions. Now, I see we have, just so that you know, I didn't introduce the company properly. We have four areas within Sycom. Excuse me. Sycom Solutions as the parent company. We have Sycom Academy, which is academy. We have Sycom Resourcing. We have Sycom Labs, and we have the MSSP, which is part of the consulting, right? So the consulting part is we do security risk assessment, understand the gaps within organizations, and all that. And then we move things into MSSP where we do the monitoring, providing controls for organization, and resourcing is what it supports. It currently supports our academy. So the idea is that is one growing area as well. The idea is for those currently in our academy, when we get opportunities, we try and ensure that we get them enrolled within our resourcing, they become talent, and they're able to carry out some projects with us, or we'd still approach some organizations like recruiters and tell them we've got, talents,
Yeah.
that you can recruit. But within Sycom at the moment, and I think I'll concentrate on academy and lab. Sycom Lab is our golden unicorn, right? Sycom Labs is where we're looking at emerging tech, right? We look at the likes of IoT, blockchain, and we look at AI. And this, like within the AI bit, we're looking at more of um, the first project we're looking at is the bridge between cyber and AI. How does cybersecurity leverage AI, and what is the governance? So, how do you govern it? When cybersecurity is leveraging AI, how do you manage it? If something happens, who do you blame when it's automated? So, we're doing some research on that. We have some researchers, and we have we have Felicia, who is currently her studies actually in that area. Felicia is one of our partners, consulting partners that that is what she's researching at the moment, right? Then we have what we call the IoT bit of things, right? So IoT is Internet of Things, right? And how, which is where we're looking at all these devices. How do you secure them?
Mm.
These are the security for them right now is so weak. It's almost zero security, right? You'll be surprised how someone can breach into your network at home, how they can actually see your security cameras, right, and actually break into them and be able to view everything going on, right? So we're doing some research on that as well. There are some very simple ones we've talked about that, like for now, most organizations they put them on a different network, and and so that even if they're being compromised, they're compromised in their own space. They're not touching your critical assets and all that. So that is one. Then we're looking at sorry, I talked about AI, IoT, and I think I have a brain freeze on the third one, blockchain, right? So when we're looking at the blockchain, the security for and in blockchain, right? So that's security for how do we protect blockchain, looking at it from a governance perspective, and within the blockchain itself, how do you protect the data? Yes, blockchain has it's got that resilience, the availability is there, but it's still, how secure is it? How can you secure it? Right. So we are doing some research. So those are the growing part in the those are the parts that in the future, right? Sycom will concentrate more. When I talk about the future, in fact, now we're looking at that at the moment,
That is
right?
the future,
We,
yeah.
yeah, we are looking more into those areas at the moment. We have our labs. We talk about it every day. We talk about what next, what we're gonna do. We're looking for researchers, So if you're a researcher out there and you feel you've got very strong knowledge around any of these three I've mentioned, you know, looking at we have different use cases for this. Please contact us and we can discuss how you can contribute to this knowledge.
All right, thank you.
Then for Academy, sorry,
Okay.
I'll be very, very, very quick, right? For Academy, I think I mentioned it from the beginning. Our goal is to see how we can provide, how we can bridge that gap. The gap we're trying to bridge. Our Academy is not a traditional training organization. We're trying to get people into work. That is our aim. Is getting people into cybersecurity, into tech work. So training is just one of the things we do to get people into it. Mentorship is one of the things we do. Work experience is one of the things we do, right? But we're not a train. I said we're not a training organization. We try to get people into work. And at zero, we want to be able to do it that we identify talent, interested talent, they come in, we do it at zero cost, we place them into work, and maybe at the end of the day, our talent management system, our resourcing is what's going to pay us back. Do
Yeah,
you get where I'm coming from?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
Are
so
you
that
looking
that,
at
that, that that's just
are you looking at this from both worlds, from the UK aspect and from the African region?
exactly, yes. I've got friends, very good friends that have the likes of Andela, Decagon, right, that have deployed similar model, and I know the challenges they're going through,
Mm,
but I hope we're able to bridge all that. When I mean challenges you go through when you skill talent, right? When you
yeah.
skill talent, and the big boys will come and snatch them off, and they ask you, if possible, if you want money, they give you the money. They're like, okay, what's the contract? What does it take for you to release this person? You can't hold them; they are not slaves, right? So some way, somehow, they have to go. But
Like a
the
football.
real the real journey is, get people into the talent management. You get them skilled, get them within that employment, employable, get them into roles, very lovely, comfortable roles. Let them be part of the dream. Let them be part of the network. Let them support people coming up as well. Let's have a lot of people, right, in there. Let's become the next TCS, right? I don't know if you know about TCS, the Tata Consultancy in India, right?
Okay.
Let's become those big companies, and we can do it all if we support what is ours.
Right. Thank you. You have 2 minutes.
Go ahead.
You have a potential company, a potential client watching this video. How can you sell the company and sell yourself? What are you telling them? And you also have a potential maybe student that wants to get into cybersecurity. What can you tell this person in 1 minute?
So what I would say is, Sycom Solution, we've got over 40 years of experience. When I mean this is based on resources, we have skilled resources. So we've got, like myself, I've got over 20 years of experience. We've got a lot of people like myself, that are in here. So there's over 40 years of experience, I would say, right? To help you support, protect your organization, right? We're a reputable organization. We are currently registered in the UK, and we're still getting our registration done in Nigeria. So we're going into Africa. We want to do the same thing we're doing here over in Africa as well. And for potential students, just see the model. If you listen to this, right, look at our model. We are different from what other people do. And what drives us? Look at the drive. Don't look at, we're not after the money. Yes, we want money. Of course, we have to run a business. However, that's not our key. If you get a job, our key is for you to get a job. If you get a job, from research, most people that get a job, 5 more people come from them, right? Approximately 5 more people come from them. So, and that is what's been happening. One person get a job, you say, oh, 5 more people. The joy is to bridge that gap. The world is big enough, right? There's so much jobs out there.
Wow, thank you, Abdul Rahman. Happy speaking with you. I enjoy this session. I really appreciate you coming to the channel. Thank you for the vital information you've shared. You are not just helping companies, you are securing the IT infrastructure, you are training a lot of people, and you are helping a lot of people transition into tech and cybersecurity. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I wish you all the best. Keep pushing, keep grinding till you get there. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
This could be good for me. Lately I was feeling like I need a purpose. But when you talk to me, give me the impression that I won't scratch your surface. And I could walk for days